To understand where we're headed as an airport, it helps to see where we've been. The blue bars in this chart show passenger traffic through SFO over the last 20 years. From 32 million in 2004, we climbed steadily to 57 million by 2019. The turbulence of COVID reduced that traffic by 71% in 2020, and now we're headed on the steady climb back up to cruising altitude, with over 51 million passengers in 2024. Now, passenger volume is a key metric. It tells us how we're doing, but to understand the full picture of SFO's recovery, let's look at how the airport makes its money. This big dotted square on the right represents $1.6 billion in revenue for the year, up from 2019 even with fewer passengers. The largest chunk of that in this black rectangle is operating revenue, money earned from getting flights in the air and passengers through the terminals. The majority of the operating revenue comes from aviation revenue, which we'll show here in blue, starting with terminal rentals, which makes up 27% of total SFO revenue and grew 21% last year, as airlines are paying more for more space inside our terminals. Next are landing fees, which account for 15% of total revenue and rose 11% last year. These fees are based on aircraft weight, so larger planes and more of them generate more income for SFO. Now let's move down to non-aviation revenue. In these green boxes, where two main drivers are parking and concessions. Parking alone accounts for $136 million, roughly 8% of total airport revenue, while concessions as a whole, represented by the rest of these boxes, brought in $246 million last year. And that number reflects more than just coffee and souvenirs, because the concessions category also encompasses ground transportation and rental cars. Every sector has been strong in their own rights this year, and in terminal, over a dozen new concessions opened recently, like Perry's, Equator, Tony's, and even a Lego store. As we move down in our big square here, we'll see non-operating revenue. The largest chunk of that is what's called deferred airline revenue, money that comes in from airlines who committed payments in prior years for using the facilities. The next chunk here is for PFCs, or passenger facility charges, which is $4.50 coming out of every ticket purchased by passengers. So that's a lot of airport numbers, but this story goes beyond the terminal. Every passenger who flies through SFO supports more than the airport. They help fuel the entire Bay Area economy. Each new domestic route adds between 18 and 25 million in local business impact, and a single international flight from Asia can generate up to 175 million per year. Whether you're guiding planes, checking bags, preparing food, or keeping things running behind the scenes, your work fuels this recovery. Every flight that lands and every passenger who's moved through these terminals is part of a bigger story. And that story is being written by you.